My sister-in-law disappeared. All that was left on the wedding bed in the bridal chamber was a blood-stained wedding dress. A passing Taoist's expression changed instantly. Foul energy rampant. A blood calamity. That bride isn't human, she's a skin corpse. She's changed skins. She's hiding among you now. Upon hearing the Taoist's words, all the guests' faces changed, but soon came waves of laughter. Skin corpse? I saw her clearly, just a girl in her 20s. Scoffed sixth aunt and her sons, the very ones from whom my mom and brother bought the bride. The Taoist wasn't rattled by the jeers. Calmly, he pulled a Buddha statue from his cloth bag. My judgment doesn't fail. The bloodstains on this dress reek of filth and decay, not from the living, but corpse fluid left behind during a skin corpse's shedding. The skin corpse has already replaced one of you here with its new skin. It's standing right in this courtyard. If we don't find it soon, more will die. Finding it is easy. Each of you step forward and offer incense to the Buddha. The Buddha only accepts incense from the living. Whose incense extinguishes, that person is the skin corpse. The courtyard fell silent. The guests looked at one another. In broad daylight, surrounded by familiar neighbors, the idea of a skin corpse seemed laughable. Sixth aunt's eldest son was first to burst out laughing. "Who's playing make-believe with you? Tony, your bride probably ran off. Go find her." His brothers joined in, cursing, "Keep wasting time listening to some crazy Taoist, and your pretty little wife will really be gone for good." Laughing and jeering, Sixth aunt's family left first. Other guests started murmuring too. It wasn't that they didn't want to help last night's wedding had gathered dozens of people in our courtyard. If each of them had to offer incense, it would take all day. It was peak farming season. No one wanted to waste that much time. One after another, they waved goodbye. My brother tried to stop them, but everyone was set on leaving. Within moments, the courtyard emptied, leaving only our family. The Taoist sighed, his face full of helplessness, and left with his pack. But whether from haste or carelessness, he left behind the Buddha statue and a bundle of incense. My brother stared at the items with a grim expression. Suddenly, he glared at us, furious. "Come on, each of you offer incense to the Buddha." We were stunned. Our eldest sister asked in disbelief, "Bro, you believe that Taoist's nonsense?" Even my mom tried to talk him down. "In all my years, I've never heard of such a thing as a skin corpse." Then she bit her lip and cursed. "I told you already those city college girls are wild, not fit to settle down. And now look at her, running off in front of so many guests. When we find her, we'll lock her in the pigsty for a month and knock that pride out of her." My brother's pupils had shrunk with fear. He looked terrifying. "No, Mom, listen to me. There's something really wrong with that woman." He seemed to forget that just days ago, he'd set eyes on the prettiest girl in Sixth Aunt's backyard and insisted on buying her for 2,000 yuan more. All those other women sold to our village, they all cried and screamed. But last night, this one didn't shed a single tear. She just kept smiling sweetly at me, those black eyes. Something about them was deeply unsettling. My mom dismissed it. "Probably thought you looked handsome. Figured being with you wasn't a loss. What's so strange about that?" But my brother kept shaking his head. "No matter what, I don't believe she ran away. I just have this feeling she's still in this courtyard, watching me." The moment he said it, whether it was my mom staring into his eyes or us four sisters standing to the side, we all instinctively looked away. My brother shoved a stick of incense into my mom's hand. "Mom, you go first." She couldn't talk him out of it and went to light incense for the Buddha. The smoke rose slowly like fog, curling through the air. My brother exhaled in relief and turned to our eldest sister. "Your turn." She resisted, biting her lip. Skin corpse? More like your bad luck with women. It wasn't the first time he'd bought a bride too before. Both met bad ends. One committed suicide. The other was tortured to death for not bearing a son. Those women were taboo in our house. Before the eldest could finish speaking, my mom slapped her. Ungrateful brat. Talk back to your brother again, and I'll beat you dead. She always favored our brother. He was her treasure. We 4 daughters were just burdens. The slap split her lip. Wiping the blood away, she reluctantly stepped forward under my brother's grim gaze and lit incense. When he saw her incense burning steadily, his face eased a little. He nodded at us with his chin. The rest of you go, one by one. Don't make me ask twice. Second sister and I stepped forward in turn and lit incense. As ours burned successfully, my brother's expression improved. Finally, it was little sister's turn. As soon as she walked over with the incense, a sudden gust of wind swept the courtyard and her incense went out. My brother straightened up, eyes locked on her with murderous intent. Terrified, she grabbed another stick. Let me try again. Maybe she was too nervous. She barely walked a few steps before tripping over a lump of dirt. The incense flew from her hand, rolled across the ground, and went out. My brother's face went pitch black. He stormed over, grabbed her, and dragged her toward the nearby pond. He was going to drown her. Eldest sister screamed and leapt forward, clinging to his leg. You can't kill her! My brother kicked and stomped, but she wouldn't let go. I reached for second sister to help, but she backed away and shook her head. She was always timid, never dared challenge our brother or mom. Left with no choice, I lunged and grabbed his other leg. He kicked us like mad. One hit landed square in my chest, everything went dark. Thankfully, little sister seized the chance and broke free. She lowered her head, then looked up at our brother. Wind swept her fringe aside. In her eyes, a flicker of hatred flashed, then vanished. She got up, picked up a new incense stick, and walked to the Buddha. She lit it, knelt, and bowed several times. When she finished, the incense still burned. Eldest sister let out a breath, sobbing. See, now do you believe? How could little sister be the skin corpse? My brother said nothing, murmuring, was my feeling wrong? Eldest sister carried little sister back inside. Second sister followed. My mom and brother whispered about where to search for the missing bride. Only I remained in the courtyard. I stared at the Buddha statue, now shrouded in incense smoke. The stick little sister had lit continued to burn. For some reason, the Buddha's smiling face seemed oddly sinister. Little sister's appetite had grown massive. At dinner, she devoured 5 bowls of rice and went for a 6th. My mom slapped the bowl from her hand. Eat, eat, eat! Your brother's bride is missing! And you're still stuffing your face? Mom and my brother had searched all day, but found no sign of the bride. Little sister glanced down at the broken bowl, then looked up at Mom. Her eyes were black and hollow. Hungry, she said. That look made Mom shudder. Eldest sister quickly led little sister away, saying she'd make her a snack. Mom pulled my brother aside and whispered, "Is something wrong with your sister?" My brother, more at ease now, replied, "The Buddha accepted her incense. It's fine. Kids grow fast, big appetites are normal." Mom wasn't pleased. "Useless money pit. What's she eating for? She'll bankrupt us." She shoved eldest sister out of the kitchen, forbidding her from cooking for little sister. That night, the 4 of us girls slept together. Soon, the room was filled with snores. After a long day, everyone was exhausted. But I couldn't sleep. My mind was a mess behind closed eyes. Suddenly, I heard a rustling sound. It was little sister. She sat up. She got out of bed, walked to the utility cabinet, and quickly found a bundle. It was the makeup my brother bought for his first bride, untouched for years. The lipstick and foundation had long turned to clumps, but little sister didn't care. She carefully smeared the crusted makeup onto her face and stared into the mirror, studying her reflection. I tried to get up, but maybe I was too tired. My whole body felt weak, and my eyelids were as heavy as lead. As the night deepened, I drifted into a daze and fell asleep. I had no idea how long I'd been out when a scream jolted me awake. Daylight had already flooded the courtyard. My mom was slapping little sister across the face. "You little wretch. Look at what kind of ghost you've painted yourself into." Eldest sister was trying to mediate. Second sister stayed far away, and little sister kept her head turned in silence as mom hit her. Under the sunlight, her face looked bizarre, and eerie layers of thick foundation made her deathly pale, while her eyebrows and lips were painted pitch black and blood red, grotesquely stark against her colorless skin. Eldest sister tried to reason with Mom. "Mom, little sis is just at that age where she wants to look pretty. Don't ruin her face if you do. We won't even get the bride price." Hearing that, Mom finally stopped. She spat, then gathered up all the makeup and ordered little sister to wash her face immediately. Eldest and second sister dispersed, leaving only little sister standing in the shadow. Part of the powder on her cheek had been smudged off from the slap, revealing a patch of her real skin bruised and swollen. She stared coldly at the makeup in Mom's hand, no one knowing what she was thinking. At mealtime, only Big Brother was absent. Mom and the sisters said he was already gone when they got up, probably went out to look for sister-in-law. "That damn woman, when she comes back, I'll kill her," Mom cursed. Eldest sister added, "Now the whole village is watching us like a joke. So humiliating." Second sister tried to comfort Mom. "It's fine. Once we get little sis's bride price, we can just buy another one for Big Brother." The whole time, little sister sat silently beside us, head down, eating. I noticed she didn't eat much today, almost like she wasn't that hungry anymore. Big Brother still hadn't returned by nightfall. Mom and the older sisters started to worry and were about to head out to search when little sister suddenly said, "Big Brother said he went to the county." Mom sighed in relief and smiled. "Going to the county's good. Maybe he'll find a wife himself, so we won't have to buy one from Sixth Aunt." Eldest and second sister eagerly agreed, but a chill ran down my spine. Our village was deep in the mountains. The only way to the county was by catching a ride with Uncle Jack at the village entrance. I just passed Uncle Jack's house. His truck was parked in the yard. Big Brother had definitely not left the village. Little sister had lied. So where had Big Brother really gone? I didn't dare think further. That night, we four sisters still slept in the same room. I couldn't sleep at all. My mind was racing, plotting how to escape this house while little sister wasn't watching. The moon was hidden behind thick clouds. I heard a rustling sound. Little sister was up again. The door creaked. She had quietly pushed it open and stepped into the courtyard. Across from us was Mom and Big Brother's room. Big Brother hadn't come back, so his room was dark. Only Mom's room was lit. About a minute later, the light in Mom's room went out with a sudden pop. Cold sweat soaked my back instantly. Something felt terribly wrong. Around 10 minutes later, little sister returned. In her hand was a bag the makeup Mom had confiscated. She laid it out in front of the mirror and started applying it carefully. Staring at herself with satisfaction, her movements suddenly froze. She whipped around and stared straight at the bed without blinking. I was so terrified I clenched my eyes shut. The room fell silent. Then I caught the strong scent of powder and rouge. I realized little sister was squatting right in front of me, her face just inches from mine. Her breath was warm against my face. I heard her whisper, "Third sister, you're awake, aren't you?" I didn't move, biting down hard and pretending to sleep. After a long pause, her breathing drifted away, and the powdery scent began to fade. She walked away. The door creaked as she slipped out quietly. I waited a long while, making sure she'd really gone far. Then I opened my eyes. In the darkness, a soft, eerie giggle echoed. "I knew it. You were awake." A cold little hand landed on the back of my neck. I panicked and lunged forward, tumbling out of bed. My forehead slammed into the bed frame. I passed out. I don't know how long I was unconscious. When I woke up, the sun outside the window was shining brightly. It was already noon. I lay on the cold floor, my forehead swollen into a big lump. It reminded me that last night hadn't been a nightmare. It was real. I got up and saw eldest and second sister still fast asleep in bed. Terrified, I reached out to shake them. Luckily, their bodies were warm, they were alive. Both looked drowsy. I quickly told them everything I'd seen the night before. Eldest sister's face turned grim. She told second sister and me to stay in the room and went outside to check. A moment later, she returned with a dark expression. "Mom and little sister are both gone. Big brother still hasn't come back," she said. "Something's definitely wrong. There's no way Mom and little sis went to the county to look for him." Trembling, I told them about seeing Uncle Jack's truck still in the yard. Eldest sister grew angry. "Why didn't you say something yesterday?" I bit my lip. I was scared. I didn't dare say it in front of little sister. Furious, she grabbed a bamboo stick to hit me, but second sister stopped her. "Let it go. Since third sis fell into the pond last summer, she's been slow. You're mad at a fool?" Eldest sister tossed the stick aside and discussed with second sister. "We'll split up to search. I'll take third sister east. You go west." So the three of us split into two teams to look for them. Eldest sister and I headed east, asking neighbors along the way if anyone had seen little sister. Everyone said no. As dusk approached, we reached the eastern edge of the village. Beyond that was the mountain. Eldest sister hesitated, unsure whether to search deeper. Just then, second sister came running up, breathless. She said she'd seen little sister. Second sister said she walked faster than us and had reached the western edge first, where the mountain also lay. Leaving the village, she soon spotted little sister's silhouette in the distance. She was acting strange. No matter how I called her, she wouldn't turn around. Then suddenly she did. Her face was heavily made up, painted stark white. She stared at me, eyes unblinking. I don't know why, but I got terrified and ran all the way here. As second sister described it, eldest sister's face darkened further. "We need to bring that Taoist back." We asked around the village for his whereabouts. Uncle Jack said the Taoist had gone to the village at the foot of the mountain for an exorcism and wouldn't return until tomorrow. After all that running around, the three of us were exhausted. Discouraged, we returned home to rest. Eldest sister wasn't giving up. She went to check Mom and Big Brother's room for clues. Starving, second sister headed to the kitchen to look for food. That left me alone in the backyard. Eldest and second sister didn't care about me. They didn't like me. Truth was, no one in this family did. Last summer, I nearly drowned in the pond behind the village. Since then, I'd been dull and slow. People said my brain was messed up. No one wanted to marry me. No one would pay a decent bride price. I was used to being ignored. So while my sisters went about their business, I played outside with the big black dog. I had picked him up off the street, and he was usually well behaved. But today, he kept barking toward the east. Annoyed, eldest sister snapped, "Take him somewhere else!" I obediently replied, untied the rope holding the big black dog. But as soon as I did, it bolted eastward. I followed it all the way to a mound behind a slope. The dog stopped barking, stood rigid, fur bristling, and trembled slightly as it stared at the mound. After a moment, as if overcoming its fear, the dog began digging frantically. While digging, it kept barking at me, as if begging for help. An ominous feeling filled my chest. I grabbed a thick branch from nearby and started digging with it alongside the dog. After about 10 minutes, we uncovered something. It hadn't been buried deeply. I stared at it, clutching my thigh hard like I was testing whether this was a nightmare. It hurt a sharp pain. So this wasn't a nightmare. It was real. Right in front of me was a complete human skin. My little sister's skin. The sun had fully set. The black dog no longer barked, just lay quietly by my side. In the darkness, no one noticed that a girl and a dog stood by the slope. My sluggish mind began to piece together the truth from the obvious clue in front of me. It had rained that morning. Judging by the marks in the soil, this skin had been buried earlier that day. Which meant when second sister said she saw little sister on the West Mountain in the afternoon, it was impossible. She had to be lying. That meant second sister was the skin corpse. Every bone in my body filled with a cold chill. Right now, eldest sister was still in the house with second sister. I had to warn her. I tied the black dog in a safe spot and ran home. Second sister was still in the kitchen, devouring food like she was starving. Eldest sister was in Mom's room. I saw her silhouette in the window, slouched in a chair as if resting. I rushed to the door and pushed it open. "Sister!" I called out, low and urgent. She turned around and I choked on my words, because I saw what she was doing. Beside her was an old bronze mirror, possibly Mom's dowry. Lined up next to it were rows of makeup. Eldest sister was putting makeup on herself. I went berserk and ran out. Behind me, I heard second sister ask skeptically, "What's wrong with her?" Eldest sister answered calmly, "Who knows?" I didn't dare stop. I kept running until someone suddenly grabbed me. Just as I was about to scream, he covered my mouth. "Shh, don't scream." I opened my eyes wide and saw who it was in the moonlight. It was the Taoist. Once he was sure I wouldn't scream, he slowly let go. I asked tearfully, "Didn't you go to the village down the mountain?" The Taoist shook his head. "That was a lie to trick the skin corpse into letting down its guard." He took me to a rundown Taoist temple and showed me his bedding. He'd been hiding there the whole time. The Taoist said he had tried offering incense to the Buddha there, but it wouldn't light no matter what. That's when he knew something was wrong. The village's dark energy had grown so strong, the incense simply couldn't burn. I shivered and asked, "But my little sister offered incense the other day, it burned." The Taoist was shocked. "Impossible. A skin corpse is an evil ghost." The Buddha would never accept incense from it. He asked for the details. When he learned she bowed before lighting the incense, his face changed. "Did you see clearly? How many bows did she make to the Buddha?" I strained to remember, then stammered, I think it was 4. The Taoist's hand trembled. The living bow 3 times, the dead 4. She's a skin corpse, so she bowed 4 times. But that's not the scariest part. Regular skin corpses can't trick the Buddha like that. Only a skin corpse king soaked in deep resentment can. After 4 bows, its resentment cloaks the Buddha statue, blinding its senses, then the incense can burn. On the wedding night, the skin corpse killed your little sister, wore her skin, then ate your brother on the first night and your mom on the second. Though I'd already suspected that my brother and mom had been eaten, hearing it confirmed still made me tremble all over. your mom might have survived, the Taoist said, because skin corpses are only ravenous right after switching skins. After eating your brother, she was full. But they have another trait. They fear their skin decaying and revealing the truth, so they love using makeup to cover up. Your mom took the makeup from her, which enraged her. That's why she ate your mom the second night. Then she returned to your room, still disguised as your sister, and discovered you were awake. I remembered that cold hand on the back of my neck, and my heart clenched. Why didn't she kill me? I'd already noticed something was off. She should have silenced me. The Taoist stroked his clean-shaven chin. She wanted to, but you were lucky. If you'd run or tried to fight after falling off the bed, you'd be dead. But you hit your head and passed out. I looked at the Taoist suspiciously. He calmly took out a scroll of folklore from his bag and turned to a page at detailed skin corpses. Here's the third trait. At night, they can only see people with their eyes open. If you keep your eyes shut, they can't see you. A cold sweat broke out all over me. I murmured, so that's why. That's why little sister suddenly looked back while putting on makeup, because I was watching her with open eyes. She sensed it and found me, but when I fell and blacked out, my eyes closed again, and she couldn't see me. I had just begun to feel lucky when something else struck me. My nails dug into my palms. I blurted, when I passed out, eldest and second sister were asleep. Their eyes were shut too. So that means... The Taoist nodded gravely. Yes. When you fell, the noise woke one of your sisters. She opened her eyes, and the skin corpse saw her. Realizing her identity was exposed, the skin corpse killed your sister and took her skin. She buried the old skin, your little sister's, behind the slope. Then she returned to bed and pretended to sleep until dawn. Goosebumps spread across my arms. The Taoist's reasoning was spot on. But now the problem was, I didn't know which sister the skin corpse had possessed. Second sister, who devoured food like a starving beast, matched the skin corpse's post-skin change hunger. But eldest sister, fixing her makeup in front of the mirror, fit the skin corpse's obsession with cosmetics. Both seemed off. Can a skin corpse possess more than one body? I asked, trembling. Is it possible both my sisters have been skinned? The Taoist shook his head. No. A skin corpse can only wear one skin at a time. To switch, it must abandon the old one. So, between your sisters, only one has been taken. He flipped through the folklore scroll. Our top priority now is figuring out which one, and then destroying it as recorded in the ancient text. Suddenly, I heard a faint sound outside. I froze. It sounded like someone pressing against the wall beside us, quietly breathing. Instinct told me someone was eavesdropping. I wanted to rush out and catch them, but I held back. Whoever it was would have run off while I was chasing them. Instead, I stared at the folklore page and whispered, I have a plan. Skin corpses can't see people with their eyes shut at night, so tonight, I'll be the bait. Whoever can see me, that's the skin corpse. When we left the temple, no one was around. The Taoist scanned the empty grass and asked, You're sure someone was eavesdropping? Could have been an animal. I nodded. I'm sure, the Taoist muttered. Either way, success or failure depends on this. We returned to my house. The courtyard was quiet. Under the moonlight, we could see eldest and second sister lying in bed. One of them was only pretending to sleep, but for now, we couldn't tell who. The Taoist pasted talismans around the courtyard and set up the ritual array. Then he killed a large rooster and smeared its blood onto a hatchet. Once all was prepared, the Taoist hid in the shadows, and I walked into the room and shook eldest and second sister awake. They rubbed their eyes and sat up. The moment they opened their eyes and saw the formation in the courtyard, second sister gasped. What is this? Eldest sister scowled. What nonsense are you up to in the middle of the night? Eldest sister, second sister, let's lay it all out now. I've already found little sister's skin. Their faces mirrored the same expression of terror. The Taoist told me one of you is the skin corpse. As soon as I said it, second sister backed away, staring at eldest sister like she didn't recognize her. Eldest sister flinched and eyed second sister warily. Second sister was the first to react, rushing to grab my hand. Third sister, believe me, I'm not the skin corpse. You're lying. Eldest sister snapped. Third sister said she already found little sister's skin. So why did you say you saw her in the mountains this afternoon? Second sister was shaking. I admit I lied, I didn't see her, but I swear I'm not the skin corpse. Why did you lie? I can't say. Third sister, don't listen to her. Eldest sister interrupted, reaching for me. She's definitely the skin corpse. I dodged both of them, stepping back. We'll find out who the skin corpse is with an experiment, I said quietly. A skin corpse can only see people with their eyes open in the dark. In a moment, I'll sit in the main room with my eyes closed. Whoever finds me is my real sister. The one who can't see me, that's the skin corpse. The room was pitch black, not even a trace of light. All the windows were boarded shut, completely blocking the moonlight. I sat in a corner, breathing softly. To prevent the skin corpse from locating me by sound, we hung soaked bed sheets in each corner, dripping water steadily. The drip of water filled the room, masking any sound I might make. I sat with my eyes closed, heart pounding in the darkness. After a while, I heard the Taoist say, "Go in." Eldest and second sister were pushed inside and the door shut behind them. Amid the dripping, I heard scattered footsteps. Someone knocked over a table or chair with a crash. Seconds later, an icy hand grabbed mine. "Third sister, I can see you." The door burst open, and the Taoist leapt in. He held a red rope and swiftly bound the other person still fumbling in the corner. I opened my eyes. Moonlight poured in from the window. I saw that it was eldest sister holding my hand. The one the Taoist had tied up was second sister. He pressed a wet talisman onto her forehead and dragged her into the ritual array in the courtyard. Eldest sister, still shaken, clutched my hand tightly. We watched the Taoist place second sister in the center of the array. Maybe because of the talisman, she appeared unconscious. She was tied up, head hanging, black hair covering her face as the wind blew. Eldest sister looked at her and asked the Taoist, trembling, "Can she be saved? If we kill the skin corpse inside her, will second sister come back?" The Taoist shook his head with regret. "When the skin was taken, the skin corpse already killed your sister. What remains is the evil ghost wearing her skin. It must die." As he raised the blood-smeared hatchet, eldest sister's legs gave out. She couldn't bear to watch. I helped her back into the house. She clung to me like a drowning woman clutching a lifeline. "You're the only one left," she whispered. In the blink of an eye, "You're all I have." I pretended not to hear her sorrow, squeezing her hand tightly. "Eldest sister, I have a question. I said I found little sister's skin, but I never said it was buried this morning. So yes, second sister lied. But how did you know she was lying?" I stared into eldest sister's eyes. She stared back. We both knew there was only one possibility. Eldest sister had buried little sister's skin. The next moment, her face twisted into a hideous snarl. She lunged at me, shrieking. The foundation on her face flaked off, revealing skin covered in corpse blotches. She tackled me, her fingers digging into my throat. Her eyes bulged as her grip tightened. Then her hands slipped away because a dagger, smeared with rooster blood, was buried in her chest. The so-called ritual array, the talismans, they were just for show, a diversion. The only real weapon against a skin corpse is a blade soaked in rooster blood. The door creaked open. The Taoist walked in. Second sister was still unconscious. He placed her gently aside. Together, we watched eldest sister writhe on the ground, shrieking. Her skin began to melt, revealing decayed flesh beneath. Maggots wriggled out of her body, then quickly dissolved into water. Even then, she didn't die. Her clouded eyes stared fixedly at me. I crouched down and met her gaze. When you eavesdropped outside the temple, I knew you were there, but I said nothing. I even laid out the plan to expose the skin corpse so you'd hear it. Because the plan was fake. The record of strange creatures does say skin corpses can't see people with closed eyes in the dark, but the next line adds skin corpse kings can. After you ate Mom and Big Brother, your power grew. You were nearly a king. That's why you could see me in the dark. Normal humans can't. They can't adjust to pitch darkness immediately. That's why we had to be extra careful. The Taoist had knocked second sister unconscious before placing her in the array, making the skin corpse believe we truly thought second sister was the one. And when her guard was down, that's when I stabbed her with the rooster blood dagger. The skin corpse was finally dead. It rotted on the ground, turning into a stinking pool of blood. At dawn, second sister woke up. After the Taoist and I told her everything, she was too shocked to speak. I asked her why she had lied about seeing little sister on the mountain. She hesitated, glanced at the Taoist, and whispered, "I'll tell you after he leaves." We thanked the Taoist, offering money in gratitude, but he refused, only asking that we escort him out of the village. So I went to Uncle Jack's house to borrow his truck. But Uncle Jack's place was empty. His truck was still in the yard, but he was nowhere to be seen. A strange feeling crept up my spine. Second sister said, "Maybe Uncle Jack went to visit someone?" So I checked other nearby homes. The more homes I visited, the more wrong it felt. Not a single person answered my knocks. The village roads were empty, not a soul in sight. It was as if the entire village had vanished. Finally, near Sixth Aunt's house, I saw her sitting outside, hunched over something that looked like a watermelon. "Sixth Aunt!" I called out, jogging toward her. Just a few steps away, she paused and slowly turned her head toward me. Her eyes were filled with eerie hunger. That's when I realized what she held wasn't a watermelon. It was her son's severed head. A wave of nausea and terror washed over me. Sixth Aunt gave me a twisted smile. I turned and ran for my life. It started raining. The downpour turned the path to mud. I slipped and fell several times, but I kept getting up and running. At last, I saw the Taoist and second sister standing at our gate. "Help!" I screamed. "Sixth Aunt is a skin corpse, the whole village. She ate everyone." But then, I stopped dead in my tracks. Rain poured down their faces, washing away the foundation. Beneath it, their skin was dark, swollen with the telltale blotches of the dead. So they had been wearing makeup. I wanted to run, but my strength failed me. I collapsed to the ground. Second sister walked toward me, smiling sweetly. "Didn't you ask me why I lied?" "Silly girl. It's because I'm a skin corpse too." She pointed at the Taoist. "And of course, so is he. Though, he didn't lie to you. Skin corpses can indeed only wear one person's skin. But it's not like there's only one skin corpse in this village." I finally saw the full truth. 2 waves of skin corpses had come to this village. The first wave began with the college girl who had been trafficked here, the bride my brother bought. On the wedding night, she skinned and replaced my little sister, then ate my mother and brother, and later switched into eldest sister's skin. But on the night she buried little sister's skin while I was knocked out from hitting my head, a second wave of 3 skin corpses entered the village. They killed Sixth Aunt, the Taoist, and my second sister and took their skins. You're smart. If the Taoist you met had been the real one, you'd have succeeded in destroying the skin corpse, the Taoist said with a smile. But unfortunately, I'm not him. I stared at the Taoist. If you're a skin corpse, why did you help me kill eldest sister? The Taoist replied lazily. Skin corpses can devour each other. That one had no ties to us. Better she's dead than competing with us for food. Plus, there were still a lot of humans left in the village yesterday. If you didn't kill at least one, you wouldn't have let your guard down. And if you caused too much of a stir, we'd have been in trouble. The Taoist stepped on my hand. Second sister gently caressed my forehead. Tsk, I really liked your skin best. But now your forehead's all bruised. It's not pretty anymore. Oh well. She grinned. It'll heal in a few days. Might as well wear it now. She slid her fingers into the back of my neck, trying to split open the skin along my spine. Suddenly, her expression changed. Her fingers had found a faint, long scar along my spine, barely visible to the human eye, but something a skin corpse could feel. That scar was a mark. It meant this body was already inhabited by a skin corpse. It told new ones to pick another host. Second sister stared at me, stunned. You too? Since when? I simply smiled and turned to the Taoist. Remember how you said little sister bowed 4 times to the Buddha statue to light the incense? You said ordinary skin corpses can't do that, only a skin corpse king can. But at that time, little sister hadn't eaten Mom or my brother yet. She couldn't even see closed eyes in the dark. So how could she have been a skin corpse king? I smiled strangely. The one who actually bowed 4 times was me. That night had been chaotic. Everyone was nervous, and my incense had lit so smoothly that no one noticed when I quietly bowed 4 times. The Buddha's senses were veiled, so both my incense and little sister's burned successfully. Let me reintroduce myself. When I was alive, I was just a regular freshman from a nearby city. I had just stepped out of the train station with my luggage, excited to start college, when I met a pregnant woman. She said she felt sick and asked if I could take her to the hospital. I got in the car with her and was quickly drugged. That woman was Sixth Aunt. The driver was her son. That was their business, human trafficking. Just like that, I was sold to the mountains. I tried to escape, but the village was surrounded by mountains. There was no way out. When I was caught, I was beaten and tortured. Eventually, I was sold to Tony. He had a mother and 4 sisters. The sisters were all promised to other families. Their dowries used to buy Tony a wife. Tony loved to torment me. His mother would lock me in the pigsty when she was in a bad mood and make me fight pigs for food. I once thought his sisters were also victims. But the truth is, the oppressed often turn to oppress those weaker than them. They hated their brother, but they never pitied me. The oldest sister beat me with a cane, yelling that her dowry was wasted on someone like me, a useless girl who couldn't even do farm work. When I tried to run, the sisters would tattle, then watch as Tony and his mother punished me. The 2 youngest, 3rd and 4th sisters would throw rocks at me. After enduring endless torment and despair, I jumped into the pond behind the mountain. I thought my suffering was over. But my resentment was too heavy. I couldn't reincarnate. I became a monster, a skin corpse. I remained at the bottom of the lake for years. Then one day, Tony's 3rd sister came to swim. I knew my chance for revenge had come. They say Tony's 3rd sister became slow after falling into the pond that summer. She didn't. I replaced her skin. And to avoid suspicion, I spoke little and kept to myself, pretending to be dull. I didn't kill Tony or his family right away. Instead, I watched the village. It was a wicked place. Sixth aunt and her son trafficked girls from the city. Some were sold to families here. Others were sold off to different villages with help from other locals. They hunted, consumed, and distributed like an industry. I decided to destroy it, but I couldn't do it alone. Not because I wasn't strong, but because skin corpses can only kill and change skins at night. If I acted alone, the village would have caught on in days. If they summoned a powerful monk or Taoist, I'd be in serious danger. So I summoned more skin corpses. For a skin corpse king, that was easy. Sure enough, after I released some signals, 2 waves of skin corpses came to this cursed village. I watched the 4 of them revel in their feast, killing, devouring, skinning. They repaid evil with blood. That was my justice. I killed the Taoist, 2nd sister, and 6th aunt. Then I set fire to the village. In the end, I picked up the hatchet smeared with rooster blood and stabbed it into my own chest. My resentment was gone. There was no need for me, a skin corpse, to remain. If I could, I'd want to be human again. To go to college, to fall in love, to watch spring petals land between the pages of my books, to see autumn leaves settle on the shoulders of lovers, to experience every tomorrow I never had.